Hi everyone and welcome back. So today we are going to start with our Flask application. Okay, and so for that let me just first introduce you to this project structure we're going to use. So we don't need that PyCache, by the way. Yeah. So the first thing is we have an app folder. Inside the app folder we have the package file where we'll keep all the Python files, right? We have a static file where we'll keep the CSS, the JavaScript, the images, and we have a templates file where we'll keep all the HTML pages. Now Flask in general looks for all HTML pages in the templates folder, all static files like CSS, JavaScript in the static folder only. So keep that in mind. Okay. Also we have one shell script called the reload sh. Now what this does is it helps us auto reloading the Flask application, okay, which saves a lot of development time, and I will show you how. Right. So let's start. The first thing is what we need to do is we need to import Flask, right? And we will need to import from Flask. Let's import Flask and request and render template. So these three will be required right now today. So I've just imported these three. Now let's create an instance of the app. So app equal to Flask of name. So Flask is the class name and the name is basically the name of the file, right? So we created this app instance. Now if you have ever noticed, right, so if you have a URL, you have something like this, say https://abc.com/home, right? And you might have something related to this slash, say view, right, admin, all these things, right? So these are all endpoints, okay, or routes. So we are going to start creating our own routes now. So first route we are just going to create as a blank route. Okay, so blank route means that if we just give the URL, it should appear, and we'll define a function, say index, and we'll return something. Just let's give something sample like status equal to 0, some kind of like this, right, just to check if the app is running. Now if name equal to main, we just app.run, run the server. So app.run will start the Flask server, and here we can give host, port, debug, all these things, right? I'll just give a port here for the moment, port equal to 8085. That is where my development server will be running. And let's go here, start our app. Okay, there is some kind of, okay, so that's not post, this will be port, I'm sorry for that. Yeah, let's run it. So yeah, now it's showing the running on server, this one. We just copy the URL, go here, run it. So we'll see that the status is 0. This is our, so the app is running for now. Okay, now let's check how we can render a HTML page into this our app application, right? So we'll go to Bulma. So Bulma is a CSS framework which can be used for HTML and CSS so web page development, right? And I'm just going to use it because it's very easy, and you know, it's easy, right? It can be used for rapid development. That's it. So just copy the starter template, put it into one file in the templates folder, say index.html, and we'll put this. Now if I go here in our app and reload, you'll see no changes has appeared. So I will restart the server again, stopped it, restarted it, and now everything will appear. Okay, sorry, in the app.py didn't give render.template, and I will give index.html. okay, now again nothing changes, restart the server, come back, so the HTML page is rendered, right? So yeah, that is how we basically we can render any HTML page into a Flask application. Okay, but now I want to do something, right? I don't, every time I make a change in the app, I have to come and restart the server. That is not good for my development time. So I will just stop this. I will run the reload.sh file, and this will start the server normally, as you can see here, right? And this is running properly. Now let me make some change in the HTML. So just let me put one simple thing, right? First app or whatever, right? And come here, refresh it, you will see that it appears. So we don't need to restart the server every time. So that saves a lot of time for development, right? Okay, so after that, just let me change the title. Let's give it name stock analytics, maybe, yeah, stock analytics. Remove everything from here. Okay, I'll just keep the section part. Now inside the section I will create one table kind of structure, right? Div class equal to columns. So basically this is a grid view concept in HTML CSS, where we can have the rows and column like structure, which is equally spaced and pretty good to use, right? So yeah, and I will, inside that div columns, I will give div column, div class equal to column. I will need two columns for this. Okay, so in the first column what we will do is, so we'll have something like this, right? We have two sections here, if you think of it. One will be our navbar or a sidebar, and here will our main application will run. So we'll go to navbar and let me check if there is navbar here. No, it's not there. Let's check out for menu. In the menu section you will find this is a side menu, and this is what we'll need. We'll just copy the side menu, put it in the first column, right? And now let's check it. So this appears, but as you can see, this takes almost half the screen. This is how column works, right? Because we have two columns, it took up two spaces. It divided the screen into two spaces and gave the first half to the whole sidebar. So we need to fix that first. So here we can specify how big the column is. So every CSS grid is divided into 12 column space. So we can here put as is 3 or is 2 to make it a smaller area. So now if as I made is 2, you see this is now shrink to one corner and it is only taking 2 column space. Okay, I think that works well. Now let's do one thing, because this part, this whatever we are seeing here will remain constant, right? We don't need to change it anytime. So we'll use this as a template. Okay, so this will be constant for everyone. So how can we do that is, in the next column, this is the part we'll make any changes, right? This is a blank part. So here we will create one tag called block body. Okay, and we need an end tag as well, end block. So what this does is, this will create like this. So any changes we make here will make in any other file will come here. This is what the main concept is. So just create one more called home.html. Okay, in the home.html we want to first import this one or inherit this actual index page, right? So what I will do here is extends index.html. okay, and we will copy the index.html, take this 2 from here, we'll put it here, right? And now instead of app.py we will use home.html. okay, let's go, refresh, nothing changes here, but as you can see the home.html page right? It has nothing, but only these two blocks are here. So basically what happened was that we are saying that we first want to inherit the whole index page. Okay, so we don't need to make any changes in the index.html. From now on this will be constant, and whatever changes we need to do, we'll just make the changes in this block. So that is why I imported these two blocks here. So now if I say h1 app, refresh it, you will see app will appear here. Okay, so this is a pretty cool concept, and we are going to use this a lot. Okay, now let's do one thing. Let's create a input bar here, okay, which will take in our ticker ID and show us the graphs we did, right? So again we need to give div. We'll use class columns, we'll use div, another div, use class column, and well, we need two divs, right? One for input, one for the actual button. So we'll go to the input one, we'll copy this input box from here, we'll paste it here. Here we'll just give a button, and let's say search. Button will have a class of, again, button, and is primary. So is primary is nothing but a color code. Okay, there is color primary, is dark, is light, is secondary, all these color codes are there. So this is one color code. Now let's come here and check it out. Okay, this appears okay. Only thing is this search bar is too short and the search button is just taking too much space. So we already know how we can fix that. We'll just give is 8 and let's keep it at is 4. So this looks much better. Actually, let's make it 3 and let's make it 9. Okay, yeah, automatically this looks much better now. So here in the input text, let's give a placeholder saying ticket or ticker, right? And let's give an example like pnb.ns or whatever you want to give, right? Also we need to give a name. A name can be ticker itself. I'll just give ticker, and we'll access this variable through this name only. I will create one more part called form. So inside the form we'll put everything. So let's go it here. Let's give an action equal to blank right now, because we want, if we click the post button, search button, it should call this function only, right? So we'll have that here, action, and just give a method equal to, let's say, post. So we want to send the data via the post method. We can use the get method as well, but for now let's just keep the post method, right? Here now, to get the data whenever it is accessed, what we can do is we can say if request dot method equal to post. So if there is a post request to this route, then only this part of the function will work. And we want the ticker name. So ticker equal to request dot form, and let's give the same name, ticker. So this is matching with the input box name, so we need to give that same name. Okay, and now let's say print the ticker. Okay, one more thing. So because I have given here post, but I didn't allow this method, so this will give an error. So we need to give these methods in the argument route. So here we can specify which methods are allowed here. So get is by default is always get, so we can all again give, but if we don't specify in the methods, then it will not allow get also. So we need get and also post. Now this should work without any issue. Let's come here, let's give it some called, yeah, this will also work. And if we check here, we got the result, right? So yeah, I think this is good for the first video, right? In the next video we'll start implementing the functions we already implemented there. We'll show charts in the HTML page. All these things will start from the next video. Okay, thank you everyone, and please like, subscribe and share.